Remember this guy? You know, the mastermind behind this legendary scene? That's the wrong scene! Well, he's back, and this time he's been thrown into the weekly meat grinder known as Shounen Jump with a series called Cipher Academy, and it's very wordy, very confusing, but actually pretty fun. I'm sure anyone who's been an anime fan for a while now is familiar with the works of Nisio Isin, who is most famous for the Monogatari novel series, along with Katanagatari and Medaka Box. Truthfully speaking, I've barely dove into Isin's work myself. I remember watching the first season of Bakemonogatari during high school and being extremely confused at the dialogue and all the sudden cuts. I didn't hate it, I just didn't really get it and wasn't hooked enough to watch the next season. I do plan on rewatching it eventually though. Isin's famous for his cheeky dialogue in the community with his genius Japanese wordplay that's pretty hard to translate to English audiences. Coming into Cipher Academy, I was expecting much of the same from Isin, and I was fully ready to be bombarded with complicated monologues and manga chapters that take me years on end to read, and that's exactly what I got. Cipher Academy is a story of soon-to-be legendary codecracker that is often mistaken for a girl, Iroha Irohazaka. He's enrolled in the Cipher Academy, which was founded because Japan took a gander at the NSA and the USA and said, hey, we need us one of those. You see, the NSA was formed thanks to the US initially selecting women to form a cryptanalysis unit to break codes that were being sent in between enemies during wartime. In this current age, Japan is going to go through the next great war themselves, so they used the Cipher Academy to recruit and train brilliant crypt analysts. Iroha himself enrolled in the Cipher Academy due to the tragic backstory of his twin brother, who died because he couldn't crack the code on a Sudoku puzzle when they were wee lads. Oh no, actually, Iroha joined because he liked pants. Gotcha. Anyways, Iroha is just as confused as we are when the first day of Cipher Academy starts, and before he knows it, he's surrounded by a squad of girls who all seem quite capable when it comes to cracking codes. The school structure seems normal at first, as they have regular classes like arithmetic, social studies, science, music, you know, the works. Cipher Academy itself used to be an all-girls school until they decided to put a token boy into each class. Why? It's so that the main character has free domain, so everyone falls for him because of his dazzling aura, of course. Actually, I don't know. That's probably it though. Iroha was able to get through most of it at first, except for a coded crossword puzzle he was given on the first day that most of his peers were able to solve rather quickly. But being the shonen main character that he is, Iroha refuses to give up on the puzzle and eventually solves it after being given ChatGPT glasses by a little evil scientist girl who's in a metaverse class that's unknown to most people. Okay, wait, let me actually slow down. Iroha runs into a girl named Kogo who belongs to class 1M. On his quest to figure out why on earth he even joined the school in the first place, Iroha finds out that Kogo joined because she wanted to stop wars without resorting to violence, which, you know, is definitely a dream. Anyways, she gives Iroha some power-up glasses that basically highlight what Iroha needs to focus on whenever he's looking at a code that he needs to crack, like some Doctor Who shit. With these glasses, he's able to finish his first crossword and beat the class superstar Kyora in a cryptogram battle. During this time, Iroha's class itself had begun to form multiple cliques and seemed to be all working against each other for some reason. He comes to find out from Kogo that everyone's looking for Cipher Academy's stash of 50 billion morgue, which is a cryptocurrency that's valued based on military budget of countries. Does it make any sense? No, but don't think about that. All you gotta know is that the more wars that are going on, the more the morgue is worth. So despite being a code cracking academy, it would be in the best interest of the wealthy to start wars and bump up the value of the morgue. Not only is Iroha a newbie when it comes to code cracking, but now he's gotta constantly be wary of his own classmates who all want to be the chosen one by the metaverse glasses bestowing scientist. He's got it rough. Thankfully, he's got the main character blood flowing through his veins, and as Iroha is challenged to more and more code-breaking challenges and duels, he gets a lot more proficient at communicating and picking up certain clues to crack the codes. Iroha does get his fair share of setbacks though, as he's traumatized by one of his classmates after playing an intense coded word game with her. I don't blame him though, just seeing these panels was enough to make me want to cry. Isin's seriously giving Togashi a run for his money here. As for the codes themselves, they're honestly really varied but like super confusing. So far we have crossword puzzles, coded mazes, code word battles, SOS messages that are sent through dancing, coded poems, codes that require the mixing of multiple jigsaw puzzles together, solving them, then solving the code within the puzzles, an overly complicated murder mystery game. I mean, there's a lot. Obviously, there's an effort to explain how all these codes work in the first place and how they're meant to be solved, but a lot of them rely on Japanese wordplay and rearranging stuff to make certain kanji encounter through dance in other languages that I can't even understand much of it in the first place anyways. I was happy enough to get the general gist of each code Iroha was supposed to crack, but when it comes to cracking them, the information went in and out of my head instantaneously. Still, they're super fun to see, and the way Iroha is illustrated when he's slowly picking up clues and applying them to what he currently has is really neat. Still, I think Isin does take it a little too far sometimes. For example, there's an arc where the class is choosing their class rep, also known as their leading private. To select a leading private, the class has to undergo a casse tete quartet, I'm sorry French speakers, and they also have to play a murder mystery game that involves everyone role-playing as their classmates in split groups to see who can solve the mystery. Now, there's a couple of problems with this. One, murder mysteries are confusing enough in this story, and two, I don't know jack shit about most of these characters, so naturally, this whole span of chapters was confusing as hell and not really fun to read, but everything else has been fine. The characters are well, it's only been 22 chapters, so I don't really expect much. There's been a clear effort to at least introduce and incorporate all the members of the class Iroha is in through the various code-breaking activities. He participated with different classmates for the different events of the private selection, and this has fleshed them out a lot more. The trio of Kyora, Yukako, and Tayo has been fleshed out the most, as they were the first trio Iroha went up against, and they sort of became his homies, along with a few other class members. Kyora herself seems to be getting the most attention, as it's revealed that she's the heiress to a huge arms manufacturer, and that she's constantly looking for Kogo because she's a warmonger. She also calls Iroha Iroha master and seems to be a tsundere, so yeah. Iroha, on the other hand, is, well, I'll cut to the chase. He's generic as hell. He doubts himself at first and claims he doesn't want to cheat with the glasses Kogo gave him, so he doesn't, and instead becomes an insanely good code breaker in the span of 3 days. He also naturally draws people closer to him because he's naive and a good boyo that won't play dirty and wants everything to be fair. No, like, that's literally why Kogo chose him and gave him the special glasses. Everyone's falling to their knees because Iroha is a person with a great conscience. I mean, even after losing the word battle to Taiyu, he literally has his I'll never lose again moment. His goal of wanting to stop wars without violence is pretty noble, and he's overall a good guy. He even got a lot of his classmates to rally around him during his private selection exam, and instead of staring out the window all day, he's the center of attention. Maybe that has something to do with him being the only dude too. In short, he's eh. The art in Cipher Academy isn't anything insane, but it's more than enjoyable enough. I like how some things are censored and how there's a girl who's literally named Anonymity. I also like the different titles the students get, like Soul Gyaru, Soul Boy, etc. I also really like the different characters that have their different catchphrases, with Iroha's being elementary. I like the way a lot of codes are illustrated as well, especially with the glowing letters whenever Iroha is solving them. The only problem is that sometimes things get a little too complicated too quickly, and it just leaves a whole light novel on the page instead of a manga panel. Still, if you're already a fan of Isin's witty dialogue and you like the imitation game, check out Cipher Academy. It's only 21 chapters in at the moment, and I'm hoping it survives the action Jump. But when it comes to Jump, you can never really tell. Maybe they have their own secret code when it comes to figuring out which series they're gonna axe next. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna try to do more videos on newer Jump manga because they've caught my eye and I've been having fun with them. If there's any series you want me to check out in particular, please let me know. Have a wonderful day. Also, making a whole coded alphabet to gush over your favorite Jump manga is so unserious. I love it.